Welcome to this World Press Conference titled Oka Declaration 2025. Demand for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and other urgent matters. A passionate appeal to President Bola Tinubu, Grand Commander of the Federal Republic. We, the Nnamdi Worldwide Forum of State Presidents, rising from a crucial meeting held on the 17th day of October 2025 here in Oka in Anambra State, make an Oka Declaration 2025 via a demand and passionate appeal to His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, our dear President and Father of our nation, that one, we make a safer soul demand today for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu without further delay, by way of this passionate appeal to His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, the Father of our nation, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. As long as Nnamdi Kanu remains unjustly in prison, to us as indeed all Igbos are in jail, we beg you, Mr. President, to do this just one thing for Ndi. Look away from any sentiment and release Nnamdi Kanu to us and let Ndibo have peace. That our dear President should also order the immediate and unconditional release of all Ndibo in their numbers languishing in various detention facilities across Nigeria as a result of the struggle, including innocent victims of the Oyibo incidents in Rivers State. We are ready to partner His Excellency Mr. President on all issues to restore order and justice in Igbo land. While we once more appreciate Mr. President's establishment of the Southeast Investment Company as well as the Southeast Development Commission, we strongly urge Mr. President to evince his patriotic spirit that he is known for by taking extraordinary... Let me take that line again. While we once more appreciate Mr. President's establishment of the Southeast Investment Company as well as the Southeast Development Commission, we strongly urge Mr. President to evince his patriotic spirit that he is known for by taking extraordinary intentional steps to fully incorporate and integrate Ndibo in the governance of Nigeria to give them the fullest sense of their Nigerianness in every sense of the word, particularly in the mainstream of the economic and political inclusiveness. This is because we too are Nigerians, and more critical infrastructure projects should be sited in our land. We commend Mr. Governor, His Excellency Professor Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra State for his patriotism in always creating the enabling environment for legitimate Igbo advocacy. We also commend His Excellency Right Honorable Francis Nwifuru, Governor of Ebonyi State, for his enormous support for Nnamdi Worldwide and the state chapter, along with his brother governors from the zone, urging them to go the extra mile to do the needful. In doing so, we place an inexcusable demand on all political leaders of Igbo extraction to rise and advance the release of Nnamdi Kanu and others as a national priority, as a way of restoring confidence, peace, and tranquility across Igbo land. We declare that any Igbo person working very hard behind the scene to frustrate the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and others, you know yourselves, count yourselves as enemies of Ndibo, you shall be put to shame. By this declaration, we commend the Nnamdi Worldwide National Leadership under the fatherhood of Senator John Azota Mbata for reinforcing the Igbo spirit of unity, peace, under his watch, and we compliment all his efforts on these issues accordingly for the good of Igbos all over the world and their neighbors. We demand for a deliberate federal government establishment of gas infrastructure investments in Igbo land, particularly the Southeast, where Nigeria has its highest deposits, with a view to properly localizing and reasonable proportion of benefit to the Southeast and parts of the South-South zones of Nigeria. The inclusion of Southeast Nigeria from Nigeria's high-pressure gas pipeline infrastructure, the exclusion of Southeast Nigeria from the nation's high-pressure gas pipeline infrastructure is unacceptable. The seeming snub or omission of the region from these critical gas pipeline projects, despite its substantial natural gas reserves and industrial potential, has undoubtedly reinforced long-standing negative narrative against our people. We lend support to our compatriots in calling on the National Assembly and His Excellency President Bola Tinubu, our dear President, to join to actualize the creation of a Neoma state along with others in favor of our people. We further call on the federal government and the government of Edo State to ensure the protection of ancestral Igbos in Edo State, the Ibankers, to guarantee their safety and well-being from all manners of oppression and intimidation.
Thank you, Ohanes and Igbo. Thank you for lending your voice at a time like this. And I think that's what the every Igbo youth want. Organizations and groups that can speak from the Igbo with their faces not hiding behind when things are matters. Now, a lot of people said, do the Ohanese have to wait till a person like Showeri begin to lead a protest before the Ohanese will come out and make a speech of a things like this? Well, everything is timing. That is one. Yes. You notice people started speaking, people like us started speaking when we saw Nigerian government negotiating with bandits, negotiating with terrorists, making a peace deal. We have been seeing them talking about repented Boko Haram, reintegrate them, give them education, bring them back into the Nigerian army, and they become a normal society. They say it's repented Boko Haram. But negotiating with bandits who come with weapons of different kinds. See, by analysis, those guys you saw in the videos that are carrying weapon and bike cannot even buy the tires of those bikes. So you calculate how much they are selling a machine these days, then you calculate how much they are selling gun, and these guys buy them, own them. Then you know that these guys are properly sponsored by government, not individual. No man will have money and want to finance terrorism in this manner. So it must be government funding for them to order weapons massively, pass it through the borders and no checking. And they come in, they order bikes for them, give them fuel, buy them bullets. And if government can now go and be negotiating with such people to give them peace deal, why can't they give Mazi Nnamdi Kanu the same peace deal? Why can't he be free and released? These are the reasons why we are speaking. I heard that the federal government of Nigeria took the protest organizers to court, and court said no. The court affirmed that the protest should go on. Imagine, people want to protest, they want to stop that. I know that whatever anything comes about in the Igbo, there's a different attachment. The Nigeria entirely has been built to perceive it. And some people are even saying it's a way of taking over the government. That's why I said in my last video that this allegedly interrupted coup is like a state-managed issue in order to beef up the security and put an amber red flag that anybody who protests now want to about the coup. And to me, it looks as if the government is trying to buy the sympathy of the West. Yes, you have to be logically sound to understand what I'm going to. The West does not like the way the West African countries are being governed now by the militaries. You see what happened in Niger, what happened in what is happening in Burkina Faso, how they have been removed from the system. The French, the Europeans have been ejected out of the country, and the people are managing their resources by themselves. So now that they have said there's a coup happening in Nigeria and they succeeded, the West will now be sympathizing with Tinubu, saying, while they don't want, they would rather leave Tinubu to continue ruling than to allow a military to enter power. So, and Nigerian government has done so many atrocities that people cannot even trust them again. Even if this is real, people cannot trust them again. That is why some people are still skeptical. People like me, that this might be state managed. That's why we use the word allegedly. It might be state managed. If people like Reno Mokri, the table shaker, is now being shaked for lying, for bringing someone to lie, and the person now came and opened bomb. And this is person staying, defending the government. Why do you think that people will not question what the government is trying to do? Why do you think people will not question the sincerity of the Nigerian government? There's no integrity, there's no sincerity, there's no honesty. It doesn't make sense. And that is why we are saying that if truly these people who are speaking, people like Atiku, every big politician has spoken that they need this protest. If they, even though they want to use it to prove that the government of they are not doing well, they should be in the forefront to protest. They should not put the young ones in there. Because if they are there, I guarantee you, shooting aside will be limited. But if they allow ordinary people, the emotional Igbos, to go into the street, they will be shooting. And it will not be fair for the Tinubu government. Also, if the Tinubu government take because of this protest and release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I can assure you he has bind the conscience of Ndi Igbo. Because I keep saying that this government favor Ndi Igbo more. If you listen to the Hanese, they are demanding for the creation of a normal state. That will tell you that we understand that this government will favor us or has been favoring us to make it a 60 Igbo state. So thank you, Hanese Ndi Igbo. On that, Ndi Nasobia is also showing their own support. Ndi Nasobia, by our president, by our secretary, by our patrons, are showing their support, and it is all medias. The Vanguard, the Sun, and the most interesting one is one I want to read. Silver News, online. Silver News. It said a fast rising pro-Igbo group, Ndi Nasobia socio-cultural organization, has massed their support behind the protest, pressing for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. NAFSCO said they met, deliberate, and resolved to take a position on the issue concerning agitation for the release of one of their sons, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who has been detained under what they termed a bogus trial for years. The organization thus demand the immediate release of this notable Igbo son, Igbo freedom fighter. You can see the whole of the thing. I posted it here. So the Sun newspaper, the Daybreak newspaper are all are sharing this in the Nasobia communique, the Nasobia press release. The Vanguard is there, the Silver, there are so many of them. It is in the print newspaper, that is the paper newspaper, is also on their media newspaper. So you see that the Nasobia is throwing their weight on this. This is Nigerian police official page. You say police urge protest groups to respect court order, warn against hijackers, punitive measures await offenders. The Nigerian police reaffirm its unwavering commitment to upholding the rule of law and maintain public peace in accordance with the constitutional provision. This, so Nigerian police are telling them not to allow people to hijack it, because like I said, they took these people to court in order to stop the protest, but court uphold the position that they should come on and protest. To be surprised, even the so-called IPOB officials are demanding for police. Then there are certain things you will see, you will now understand what is going on. If IPOB, as they claim, a terrorist group, imagine those people that are carrying gun in Castina are going for protest. Would they be saying they need maximum police? They need maximum protection? If IPOB are men who goes with gun to protest, would they be demanding for Nigerian police to protect them? But Nigerians are not ready for this conversion, because if anything is about Igbo, when I don't kill myself, nobody wants Igbo people to exist. Nobody wants Igbo people to look for their own rights. We know this. That's why anybody that speaks is an IPOB, anybody that speaks, because you think that by Nigerian government proscribing them, they have already been finished. But you know that people are already carrying this flag in foreign country and nobody is arresting them. Because I saw some places people say if Igbos are good, why they pursue them in South Africa? Why they pursue them in Ghana? Why they pursue them in Lagos? Igbos are not good. Why are they giving them public holiday in Canada? Why are they giving them Igbo Day in 2 different states in America? You people should ask yourself questions. If Igbos are bad the way you think because it's in African soil, because you want to preach propaganda, you want to fuel, they are grabbing land, but people are giving them Igbo Day. You are saying they want to collect your land in Nigeria, but some people are even on their own, their government are saying, take this day as your day to celebrate yourself in America. So, are they different Igbos? Igbos in America are different from Igbos in South Africa, or Igbos in Ghana, or Igbos in Lagos. Are they not the same Igbo? Some people are today in Igbo land today, but they are planning to go to America tomorrow and still continue for where other people stop. Igbos in Canada and every other part of the country where they are excelling. Why is Igbos are being welcomed in China, welcomed in Malaysia, welcomed in Japan? But when it comes to Africa, Igbos are not welcome because people like you don't want Igbo to say, and you preach the propaganda and make it known that African countries start hating them. If IPOB are bad, why are they demanding for police? If they are terrorists, going with gun like the way you proscribe them, the way you make everybody to feel like the Castina people we are using as an example, would they be going and be asking for police protection? You are holding gun, you are asking for police protection. Why? Can't you protect yourself with the same gun? That is the question. That is what we are saying. Then you will not know who is on the side of the truth. Although I saw one Ghanaian post from Tunde Ednut, this one will interest you. And I saw this post from, I don't know whether it's official, but I want to read it. Let's assume it is true. It says, breaking news, the king of the Ashanti kingdom, His Majesty Otunfo Ose 222 has arrived in Nigeria ahead of the Free Nnamdi Kanu protest scheduled for Monday, 20th October. He said, speaking to the reporters at the airport, the Ghanaian monarch said he could no longer stay silent while injustice continued against the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. I have been observing how unjust the Nigerian court has been in handling the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The king said, justice delay is justice denied. This is not just an Igbo issue, it is an African issue. The king also recalled the historical bond between the Igbos and the people of Ghana, emphasizing the role Igbos played in Ghana's development. The Igbo people have always stood with Ghana. Many of our businesses, schools, and trade routes flourish because of their handwork and wisdom. When a brother is in pain, you don't look away, you stay by him, he added. I saw this from today. They say it's King Tunde Ednut. I don't know whether it's the real official page or whatever. But if this is a rumor, fine. It's rumor. But if it's real, you see that people are throwing their weight. People like NAS, National Association of Nigerian Students, or whatever they call them, they are throwing their weight to the protest. So a lot of people are here, and this is why we need to make it peaceful more. Please do not hijack it to cause commotion. You will not benefit anybody. You that is coming to hijack it might be the one that will kill. Let us protest and go home, demanding for the release of the young man. Everybody deserves freedom. You are free where you are. Let him enjoy his freedom. Thank you. I'm out of here.